Do you know who Moses was? Moses was a great prophet and leader of the Israelites. He was the one who led the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt to freedom in the Promised Land. And today we are going to talk about how Moses was born. So let's dive right in. And it came to pass in those days when the Israelites had become a great multitude, that they were scattered abroad in the land of Egypt, and Pharaoh had made them all serve with cruel bondage. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And the Egyptians became afraid of the children of Israel, and they were sorry for it. Sorry for what? Sorry for making them slaves. Yeah, I know that doesn't seem like a big deal because to us, the Egyptians are not our friends. They are just some ancient people we read about in the Bible. But imagine if you were living in Egypt at that time. The Egyptians are your neighbors. Maybe you even had Egyptian friends. They treated you like garbage. Your family and everybody you love is suffering. You are suffering. Everybody is sad all the time. That's how the Egyptians felt. So they decided to come up with a plan to get rid of the Israelites. Pharaoh calls his best scientists and he says, I want you to come up with an idea, a good idea, the best idea ever, so that all the baby boys that are born among the Israelites will die. When Pharaoh heard that this plan was ready, he tells all of Egypt, Hey guys, listen up. This is the new law. All the baby boys that are born among the Israelites will die. After hearing Pharaoh's decree, every single Israelite woman was afraid to give birth to a baby boy. Nobody wanted their kid to be killed. So they said to themselves, What do? We are scared. In the middle of all this chaos, there was a righteous and God-fearing woman. Her name was Amram. She was married to a good man named Amminadab, and they were part of the family of Levi. And they had been trying to have a baby for a long time and could not have a son. But now she was finally pregnant, and they were expecting a baby boy. To make things worse, she was also really sick. It was such a serious case that her husband and everybody else thought that she might die. Now, since she was sick, her parents took care of her. They brought her to their house, which was next to the river. As she was getting closer to giving birth, her father and mother were spending all night with her to make sure that she would be okay. When the baby started coming out, her mom helped her deliver the baby. And guess what? The baby was a boy. How did they know he was a boy? Because he screamed like a baby boy does. And his dad and everybody in the family was super happy because finally they would have a male heir. But then they remembered what Pharaoh said. All the baby boys are supposed to die. What should they do? They needed a plan. And here's what they came up with. They put the baby in a basket, covered him with tar and pitch, and then they put the basket in the river, hoping that Pharaoh's soldiers would find it and take the baby somewhere else. As the basket was floating on the river, God kept protecting it from any danger. A little while later, Pharaoh's daughter, who was walking by the river, saw the basket and asked one of the soldiers to bring it to her. Then she opened the basket and guess what she found? A beautiful baby boy. And she immediately fell in love with him. She felt so bad for him because he was all alone. There was nobody to take care of him. She knew that if she didn't do something, he would end up dying. So she said, I can't leave this baby alone. I am going to take care of him and raise him as my own son. Then she told one of the soldiers to go back to the city and find a nurse to take care of the baby. The soldier went into the city, found Miriam, who was Moses' sister, and told her, Hey, come quick. The princess wants you to take care of this baby. You'll be paid lots of money for doing this. And Miriam was like, Wow, that sounds awesome. Wait, is this baby maybe Moses? So she took the baby back home, and for 3 months, she took care of him and breastfed him. Meanwhile, Pharaoh's daughter had raised him as her own son. She gave him the name Moses because she rescued him from the waters. During this time, Moses' parents were watching him from afar. They couldn't believe that their son was living in the palace and being taken care of by kings and queens. One day, Moses was old enough to walk, so he started playing around the palace. And guess who he bumped into? His big sister, Miriam. She was so excited. Finally, she got to see her brother again. And she was like, hey, Moses, come with me. I want to show you something. She took him to their parents, and when his parents saw him, they were so happy, but they were also very worried. They said to Miriam, "Don't ever bring Moses here again. If Pharaoh finds out that we have him, he might kill us all." But Miriam was like, "Don't worry, Mom and Dad. I got this. I know what I'm doing." One day, Moses was hanging out with his friends, and one of them said, "Hey, Moses, why don't you come with me to the palace so that you can tell everybody that you are the king of Egypt?" But Moses was like, "No, no, no, I can't do that. My real parents are not in the palace. They are poor people. I cannot lie to them." And his friend was like, "Ah, man, you are such a downer. Let's go." But Moses was like, "No, thank you. I'm going to go visit my parents." On the way to his parents' house, he stopped by a tree and sat on it. And then he saw an amazing thing. He saw a burning bush, but it was not being consumed by the fire. And then God spoke to him and said, "Moses, why have you come here? Remove the shoes from your feet, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." Then God continued speaking to Moses and said, "I have surely seen the affliction of my people who are down in Egypt, and I have heard their cry because of their taskmasters. I know their sorrows. So come on. I am going to send you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt." Then Moses was like, "Wait, what? You want me to talk to Pharaoh? Are you kidding me? He might have me killed." And God said, "I am going to be with you. I will help you. Do not be afraid of Pharaoh. Do not fear him, for I will be with you, and I will do what you ask, and you shall do what I command you." Then Moses was like, "Okay, God, I trust you. I am gonna do it." And that is exactly what happened. Moses talked to Pharaoh, and God performed 10 plagues over Egypt. And finally, Pharaoh let the Israelites go. Now, before they left Egypt, God told Moses to take all the gold and silver that the Egyptians would give them. So when the Israelites were leaving, many Egyptians asked them, "Hey, where are you going? Can we come with you?" But the Israelites were like, "Nah, we are going to worship God, and you guys seem kind of interested in that. So we are just going to take all your gold and silver, all your jewels and your fine clothing and your food and your flocks and your herds and your sons and your daughters." And the Egyptians were like, "Oh, okay, here you go." So the Israelites left Egypt and headed to the Promised Land. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. God bless you. See you next time.